Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to Supreme Inner Self. Hope everyone's feeling good, energetic, and productive. Now, in my previous video, I covered the topic of resilience and the importance of it when it relates to art. I've been an artist for about 9+ years now, and as painful as it is to admit it, I've seen little to no success. And with that being said, resilience is how I stayed motivated. But sadly, it isn't enough. This field is a rapidly moving bullet train, and if you aren't prepared, you will be left behind. This is what brings me to my next topic, being able to adapt.
Being stuck on these plantation, 99% the rest. Gonna be using hands until we die to get a fucking check. It's ironic getting a check on Twitter cost your self-respect. It's ironic how we kill each other and expect the best. It's demonic how they change the weather, nothing but confess. It's demonic how they change the weather, nothing but confess.
To adapt is to make something suitable for new use or purpose, or modify. When I got my first opportunity to record, it was in my high school broadcasting class, thanks to a friend of mine, Anthony, who is someone you should also check out. He pulled a few strings and we were able to lay down some of our first tracks. And these tracks we were very proud of. I was enjoying making the music. But when I told my mother I was passionate about it, she wasn't too happy about it. And she didn't believe me at all because I was extremely quiet growing up. Me and rapper just didn't make sense in the same sentence to her. As crazy as it sounds, this wasn't the worst part. See, due to the influence of the underground rap scene, my lyrics were vulgar and unsettling. It broke my mother's heart, which is something I didn't even consider at the time of writing those lyrics. And that's the moment I decided to stray away completely from that style of rap. It honestly helped me uncover a different pocket. And it's actually funny because I didn't even want my mother finding out about my music at first. But in all honesty, her hearing it steered me away from a treacherous path. Since I was graduating that year, I would no longer have the access to recording in the studio. However, I still wanted to create. So a friend of mine, Gary, who I spoke about in the previous video, informed me about GarageBand for iPhone. This blew my mind, and I couldn't believe I had access to a studio in my own pocket. I got to work that same night I found out about it. I used it for a while and I just enjoyed creating. But the sound was far from great and professional. And I wanted my music to sound and resonate with the listener on a much more sonic level. When I got to college, I took advantage of using the studio there. And this is where I found my voice. You see, there was a song of mine called Actually, which I feel like was my magnum opus. This piece to me was very important because it got me out of a shell that I was stuck in over the course of recording music. And I always understood that music had a certain sound, so I was watching tons and tons of videos on mixing to give my music that edge. And at the time, the production of Mick Jenkins' The Waters mixtape was something that I referenced heavily. The way it was mixed, coupled with the smoothness of his voice, was incredible. I didn't necessarily want to replicate the sound, but replicate the degree of intelligence it took to get to that sound. Now, in my previous video, I talked a bit about my disdain for the lack of creativity in the mainstream. But I came across this video by Young Thug. The song was called Givenchy, and the melodic tones and flows were as another layer of instruments that laced the track. Listening to this music helped me develop another side to my artistry. And when it comes to being an artist, a performing artist, your performances is the best way to express yourself. Now, I've had a few performances in the past, some great, some not so great. But one thing I noticed is my lack of stage presence. I was always an introvert type, and that isn't usually the personality akin to being a rap artist. But growing up more, I realized it was just all in my head. And my fiance, little lady Lee, saw my potential. She pushed for me to get a serving job. And honestly, I couldn't see myself doing it. But now that I've been serving for 6 months, I find it imperative for any artist who wants to develop stage presence. Being a server puts you in front of all types of people, and lasting in that field forces you to adapt. Repeatedly giving my personality to people I don't know lessens my stage fright and gives me a bit of that edge to adapt to any crowd. Now, I started this channel with no intention of putting videos like this out. I was under the impression that YouTube was saturated. And what I did was fail to see it as a way to connect with other artists on the come up like me. Thanks to the channel friends and family, it sparked this idea in me. Everything is saturated, but adapting helps with your growth and uniqueness. Drawing, rapping, producing, and speaking are all skills that I developed over the years. And I believe it is my purpose to share all of those gifts with all of you. So look inside yourself, everyone. You all have something to give. So when you hit a roadblock, just think outside of the box and adapt to it. Supreme, Innerself. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, all of the music that you heard in this video will be in the link in the description. You can check out my beat store and listen to any of my music on Spotify, Apple Music, and more.
Never slow down, you take that first step, never lag, yes sir. And when you're going up, don't ever look down, just say yes sir. No ain't in my vocabulary, feel it in my capillaries, which is why I say it with chest best, no flex on them. This is conviction, I tell all my witnesses to witness it with diligence. That is the only way to make a way to a salvation that do not come to those who wait. And though patience is a virtue, that's not all it takes. And all the proof that God did it is right in your face.